This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on January 30th, 2015. Our time is 8:47 Mountain. Radio show runs on your favorite radio stations, including 6:30 CHED in Edmonton, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. If you ever miss a radio show, the shows are archived on Harold's two websites, HESradio.com and rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We have a podcast through iTunes. Type in the World Financial Report on Radio. They're all there, all the shows. You can put them on your portable device. We go anywhere you do. You can subscribe. The shows will come into your portable device. I know I have them coming in on my iPhone and my iPad. I have iTunes on all my different devices, so you can listen at your leisure. Connect with us at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The telephone number to speak personally and privately with Harold, 1-800-432-1022. 1-800-432-1022. And last week, Harold had said to me off-air that he had come across and gone into his possession one of the rarest diamonds on the planet. And that is our featured diamond of the week from rarecoloreddiamonds.com. It is a very rare 0.41 carat round brilliant cut VVS2 clarity fancy gray blue argyle. We're going to talk about that diamond later in the show. Get our free weekly newsletter. You can see a picture of it. It is absolutely stunning. Right now, go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com and click on Featured Diamond of the Week. This is the rarest of the rare when you speak of diamonds. This week, as we tape today's show on a Friday, the loonie at 79 cents, oil at $45, Greece on Sunday. The far left party did win. Syriza is the party, and their leader, Alex Tsipras, former member of the Communist Party, may give you an idea of where their leanings are. 1 in 5 children in the United States on food stamps. 20% of Russian banks could collapse. We have that story in our newsletter. It is a must-read. I encourage you to read that story, and it is very realistic. This is not pie in the sky here. Also, we have a great quote from Bill King. For eons, goldophobes and Wall Street paper peddlers whined that one should not buy gold because it pays no return on interest, no dividends. That argument is gone with the wind due to ZIRP and NIRP, zero interest rate policies and negative interest rate policies, which we are seeing all around the world, most recently in Denmark. 'Tis why gold is now rallying in all major currencies. That according to Bill King, and as we mentioned on a past show, gold was the second best currency in the world last year, next to the U.S. dollar. And a guy that we have tremendous respect for is John Embry from Sprout Asset Management, and we have this quote before we turn it over to Harold for his commentary. He said this week, "This is an extraordinarily risky situation that the world faces as global stock markets begin to tumble. When I look back at all my decades of being in the financial world, I can't remember a single time when world markets have been more prone to total collapse than they are today." And Harold, we were saying before the show started, there are so many issues going on, not just in Europe, but even in China. And obviously we're seeing instability in the Middle East due to what's happening in the oil market. It's just a very dicey time, but we believe that's why we advocate gold, silver, diamonds, hard assets. They have stood the test of time, and they get us through all this turmoil that we're currently going through.
You're 100% right, Randy. And again, these are very, very dangerous, concerning times. A lot of people are shaking their head and trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Obviously, the world is in a mess right now, and a lot of it, obviously, it has to do with the tremendous debt that could never, ever be paid back. But one of the biggest problems we're facing right now is oil. With the fact that oil hit $44 this week, it's going to wreak havoc on all the markets. First of all, you're going to see many corporations go bankrupt. Right now, oil, most countries that produce oil, including the United States and Canada, needs close to $85 oil in which to break even. And with oil prices $40 below that, how much oil can they possibly pump at a $40 loss and still stay in business? What you're going to see is a lot of layoffs. You're going to see companies go out of business. The oil market is obviously one of the most important markets in the world, and the stock markets are going to be reeling because of it, because many of the top stocks are oil stocks, and they're not doing well. Some companies like Exxon and Mobil are losing 25% in the last quarter. So that's going to wreak havoc on the markets. We've seen many down days this week. Then on Thursday, the market was down at the opening, and then they rallied at the very end of the day. It's almost like if the Dow is down 3 days in a row, they feel they got to go in and buy the market back. There was no news that came out on Thursday that was bullish enough to move the market up 220 points. But as we're taping the show here on Friday morning, the Dow was down again another 120 points as we speak, and in my opinion, going substantially lower. I just don't see how the Dow can stay up. If the Dow is a reflection of what the U.S. economy is truly like, it should be sitting at about 6,000 right now. I know there's a lot of people that would disagree with me, but I just don't see how in the world that the Dow is going to stay up. First of all, you've got oil prices plummeting, and I think oil prices are probably going to shock everyone and go to $25 to $30. It's going to put almost all the oil companies out of business and wreak havoc on the economies of many countries, Iran, Iraq, all the oil-producing nations, all the OPEC members and the non-OPEC members. Look what it's doing in Venezuela, and look what it's doing in Russia. They've got massive inflation, and their currencies are plummeting. So the fact is that the currency markets are another major issue. Aside from oil plummeting, on top of that, so are the currency markets. Look at the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar basically last year was almost even with the U.S. dollar. Now it's down by over 25%. And you're going to know how weak the Canadian dollar is, and the Aussie dollar, by the way, just by going to a country that has a stronger currency. As a Canadian going to the United States, you're going to find that $100 American is going to cost you $125 Canadian. I'm shocked that the Canadian government is not buying back their currency. But at this particular point, the currency markets are crazy. Look what happened in Switzerland, where their currency went up 30% in one day. Now, what the Swiss government did is they shocked everyone because everyone thought they were going the opposite way. They thought they were going to support the euro, but they didn't. They supported their own currency, sold the euro, and look what happened. Their currency, the Swiss franc, went up 30% in one day, and the euro plummeted to 112. From 120 to 112, that is a massive move. What does it basically mean? Number one, if all of your money is in Swiss francs, you just became a lot richer. And you're going to find that if your money is in Swiss francs and you go to a place with a lower currency, you're going to find that your net worth is increased substantially. For those that have a very strong currency, if they go to a country and move to a country that has a weaker currency, they've just become substantially richer. On the other hand, look at the people that are in the euro market. If all of your assets are in euros, and basically at the beginning of the year, the euro was at 140, 142, and now it's traded as low as 112. You've just lost almost 30% of your net worth. That's how the currency markets can affect your livelihood and your net worth, and believe me, it's happening all over the world right now. The other thing that's very concerning, and it happened in Switzerland, obviously, last week, was the fact that the interest rates in the banks have dropped by 0.75%, meaning that if you have your money in the bank, you're actually paying 0.75% to keep your money there. So what Randy said at the beginning of the show is 100% true. Where they talk about gold and say gold is an asset or a currency that doesn't pay any interest, well, either does money in the bank. In actual fact, gold does way better than that, because in the bank, you're losing 0.75%. Means that if you got 1 million Swiss francs sitting in the bank, you're actually going to have to pay about $75,000 a year in order just to keep your money sitting in the bank. And we all know that keeping your money in the bank is not safe. We know that by what happened in Cyprus. So the whole world is a mess right now. Don't think that things are great in China. They're not. China is in huge trouble. In actual fact, they've not only got financial issues, they've got these entire cities that are totally vacant. They totally miscalculated the marketplace. Europe's in big trouble. As Randy mentioned, they've now got a communist leader in Greece. What is going on here? And again, what we think is going to happen, what I think is going to happen, is we're going to see further declines in the price of oil. I think that Saudi Arabia is totally behind this whole situation. I think that they're going to shock everybody by dropping the price of oil below $35 and possibly as low as $25. Which will really put the whole world in a huge financial crisis. And then what they're going to do is they're going to rally the market right back up again. I've seen them do it before. I remember doing the World Outlook Conference in British Columbia with Michael Campbell, and while all the banks and all the stockbrokers were there talking about, stocks and the NASDAQ and stock splitting and all that type of thing, oil had just fallen to $10, and I did a presentation on oil that had everybody in the audience reeling, and then oil right after that just skyrocketed. So, again, I anticipate that we're going to see a similar situation. The other thing is gold. Where I'm very bullish on gold long term, you have to be bearish short term. The fact is we broke through $1,300 last week. The market dropped over $30 on Thursday, and the market's back up about $10 today. We're sitting right now at $12.69. My gut feeling tells me that because the U.S. dollar is continuing to strengthen against these weaker currencies, that the gold market is going to fall further. In actual fact, I wouldn't count out that gold could drop to $1,000. In actual fact, we should come fairly close to that. So at this particular point, I've always said to you, own physical gold so you don't have to deal with the leverage and everything of the market. You don't want to be leveraged going into this market at this point, especially if gold drops to 1,000, which would bring silver down to about 13 to 13.50. At that particular point, if the gold market holds at $1,000, which I believe it will, very close to that, I think we're going to see a massive rally come in gold that could take gold right back up to 2,000. It happened in the 70s. It's going to happen again now. In actual fact, there was an article in the newsletter this week, which is a phenomenal newsletter. You've got to get it. It's free of charge. It's just loaded with amazing information. But Randy did find an article that totally agreed with what we've been saying all this time. There's a direct correlation between the markets back in the 70s and now. And again, if you study history, history always repeats itself, and we do believe that's going to happen. What we did see back in the 70s was gold going from 35 to 100, from 100 to 200. People were very bullish on gold. They were buying it like crazy, and then gold dropped from 200 to 100, mysteriously, very similar to what happened this time. Fell in half, and that's what I'm saying, that we went to $1,900 in gold. We should see the market come back to around 1,000 in that area, which would be very similar to the bull move that we had back in 1978. When the market fell from 200 to 100, most people got discouraged with gold and sold out and didn't come back into the market. And then all of a sudden, it broke out, and it went from $100 all the way up to $850 in record time. So we think a similar market is going to happen at this time, but we think the moves are going to be gigantic. It's not gold at $100 anymore. We're talking about gold at 1,000. Does that mean that gold could go up 800% and go to 8,000? Yes, it definitely could do that. In actual fact, I'm betting that it is going to do that. We're going to be very, very heavily into the gold market in the very near future. As I've mentioned on past shows, we're just waiting for our importer's license, and we will have physical gold, 99.9 clarity type of thing, and we're going to be able to bring it to you very soon at no commissions and no spreads, and you're going to be able to buy it at spot. We want our clients and the listeners to the show to make money in the gold market again, but in order to do that, we have to wait for the market to bottom out. We have to wait for our gold to be available, and we're going to be able to deliver it to you directly. There's not going to be any commissions. There's not going to be any spreads, no interest on the unpaid balance, or no storage fees or anything like that. You're going to be able to buy gold physically, have it delivered directly to you, and we're going to make a ton of money in the gold market again. We just have to wait for the market to do to be at the right level, and I think that's coming fairly soon. We're very bullish on the market. There's too many things happening in the world right now not to be bullish on gold. However, over the short term, the U.S. dollar is very strong, and the U.S. dollar means that gold prices are going lower. When the dollar bottoms out, which we believe it's going to do, and go substantially lower eventually, then we're going to see a massive rally coming in the marketplace. And again, it's going to be followed by massive inflation. There's no doubt that inflation is coming. It's in Venezuela. It's in Russia. In Venezuela, they're paying $100 for a loaf of bread. So again, there's no doubt that what's happening in other parts of the world eventually is going to happen in the United States. And the U.S. has got the biggest debt problem. They could never, ever pay back the money that was borrowed. The other thing is the State of the Union that happened last week. It was such an embarrassment, so ridiculous that President Obama could stand up and say how phenomenal things are here in the United States, 5.6 unemployment, and the dollar strong, and the market coming back, and real estate price. It's not happening. There's 20% unemployment in this country. Nobody can get a good job. In actual fact, what's going to happen now, because of oil prices plummeting, and what's happening up in North Dakota and South Dakota with the fracking, they're going to now start letting go thousands and thousands of people. That's the first thing that happens when the market starts to come down like oil prices have. So again, the employment numbers went down because they were hiring so many people for the oil business up in the Dakotas, and now that they're losing money on every barrel of oil that they're producing, again, they're going to start to let people go. It's an unfortunate situation, but it is the times that we're living in at this time, and again, we're going to have some very rocky roads. That's why we're saying don't leverage anything. Don't get into a position to where you could lose your money. Everything that you own should be physically owned. If you want to invest in gold, buy it physically. If you want to own diamonds, buy it physically. Don't leverage stocks, don't leverage commodities, don't leverage anything, because at this particular point, there's just too much going on and too much manipulation in the market. You're going to get killed in the markets financially if you leverage your positions. Everything you should do at this point should be owned. And again, we'll certainly let you know when we think that gold is going to take off again. Unfortunately, again, because of the strength of the U.S. dollar, we see the gold market coming down. But I do see, after it bottoms out, a massive rally coming in this market, and hopefully it's going to coincide with us being able to bring to you gold at spot price with no commission. So, again, Randy, it's crazy, but there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're very bullish and optimistic over the longer term. And when I say longer term, I'm not talking years. I'm saying that possibly we could see gold bottom out in the first quarter, and then we could be a massive buyer going into the second half of this year. So, again, I'm still very, very bullish on alternative assets. As a public speaker, I've got 4 events coming up within the next month, Rotary clubs and speeches that I'll be giving, and it's all on diamonds and hard assets. So evidently, there's a lot of wealthy people out there that believe in what we're saying and have scheduled us and hired us to come in and speak to the masses about what we think is going to happen in the economy. So I've got some very exciting things coming up.
And Harold, as you've always said since we started doing the show, there's always somebody making money. And we touched on that on the last show. There was a company that made $1 billion selling short oil. They felt that oil was too high, thought it was going to come down. They put in their shorts, and that company made $1 billion. There's always somebody making money. We need to help you profit and protect the money that you have. That's the whole reason that we do the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and yours truly, Randy Marshall. And you can connect with Harold and learn more about investing in hard assets at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The telephone number, and you will be speaking personally and privately with Harold at 1-800-432-1022. Harold's auction site, which is becoming world-renowned, is hsfineauctions.com. And we'll talk about that later in the show. Our featured diamond of the week from rarecoloreddiamonds.com is a very, very rare 0.41 carat round brilliant cut VVS2 Clarity Fancy Gray Blue Argyle. You heard right, Fancy Gray Blue Argyle. Take a look at the picture in our free weekly newsletter. As Harold said, you can get our newsletter from us via email free of charge every week. And you can take a look at the diamond at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, featured diamond. Click on featured diamond. One of the stories that was really quite prevalent this week is deflation is a major concern in Europe. And that's why we're seeing different countries like Spain, like Switzerland, like Denmark, going to negative interest rates, zero interest rate policies. And it was interesting, one of the world's great bond kings, Jeffrey Gundlach, he came out and said negative bond yields are good news for gold. With government bond yields negative in Switzerland and parts of Europe, gold looks attractive by comparison. And Jeffrey Gundlach of Double Line Capital said on CNBC, the yield on a 10-year Swiss debt note turned negative earlier this month, and yields on a number of shorter-date Eurozone government bonds have also been in negative territory, meaning investors are effectively paying governments for the privilege of holding their paper. Amazingly, people are paying Switzerland to warehouse their money for 10 years. That makes gold a higher yielder because it yields zero. Gundlach, as I mentioned, was on CNBC, and he said, so you're in a world that is being incrementally favorable for gold. And with volatility in the currency markets rising, gold is likely to continue rising in the months to come. And as Harold was saying, if you'd like to learn more about investing in hard assets, connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com or call 1-800-432-1022. Get our free weekly newsletter because it's the companion to our radio show. It has the information that we're talking about. In fact, in Germany, they had negative inflation for the first time since 2009. That's why the EU came out with over $1 trillion in quantitative easing to fight off something that is very serious, and that is deflation. If you'd like to learn more about deflation, get our free weekly newsletter because in our newsletter we have tons of information and a specific article as to why deflation is very, very bad for the average everyday person. And one article that I think is a must-read, and we touched on it earlier, is that 1/5 of Russian banks could collapse in 2015. The banking sector is facing as many as 20% of their ilk folding. You heard right. In Russia, 20% of the banks could be folding. That is a must-read article, and obviously it will have an impact on the world's finances when you have banks in Russia folding at a 20% rate. And one of the reasons is a lot of the money that they're holding, the debt that they're holding, is denominated in U.S. dollars. And you have the ruble crashing, you have the U.S. dollar strong, and it's a recipe for disaster for those Russian banks. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com, or call Harold and speak with him personally and privately about investing in diamonds, gold, and silver. 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022, and ask about getting your name on the list for our free weekly newsletter. We're going to come back and talk about diamonds as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on January 30th, 2015. Our time is 9:11 Mountain. Our radio show runs on 630 CHED in Edmonton every Sunday afternoon at 3. If you ever miss a radio show, the shows are streaming archived at Harold's websites, HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We also have a podcast through iTunes. Connect with us there. We go on your portable device, very easy, through iTunes. Type in The World Financial Report on Radio. All the shows are there. And in your busy world, we'll travel with you And all you need to do, if you'd like to get the shows on a weekly basis, is subscribe to the podcast. Connect with Harold. Speak with him about investing in hard assets. Hard assets have stood the test of times. As we've mentioned before, we're in an environment where in the world today, not only do we have negative interest rates, zero interest rate policies, but we're seeing such massive fluctuations in currencies. What you're looking for is something that's going to profit and protect your assets. Take some of the paper assets you have, turn them into hard assets, protect the money that you have today by going the hard asset route, diamonds, gold, and silver. RareColoredDiamonds.com is Harold's website. The telephone number, 1-800-432-1022. Harold's website auction site is hsfineauctions.com, and we'll talk about that momentarily. Featured diamond of the week. This week's diamond is a very, very rare 0.41 carat round brilliant cut VVS2 clarity fancy gray blue argyle. And if you see a picture of that diamond, really truly, not only is the cut one of the finest you'll ever see, museum quality cut, but the color is something that probably is never to be seen on the planet ever again because it is that rare. Harold, tell us about this diamond. People can see it at RareColoredDiamonds.com. Click on Featured Diamond of the Week. This is a beauty. The way the blue and the gray have come together, it's created an amazing, amazing diamond here.
It certainly has, Randy, and it's not that either one is a secondary color. They're both primary because it's not a fancy grayish blue. It's a fancy gray blue. And the color on it is like nothing you've ever seen before, and it's nearly flawless. It's a VVS2. So, again, a diamond like this very, very seldom ever comes around. It's one of the most beautiful diamonds I've ever seen. It's plus, as an investment, I think one of the best investment diamonds I've ever seen. It's a 41 pointer, and it's round brilliant, so the fact that it's round makes it extremely rare. The color makes it even more rare, and the fact that it's nearly flawless makes it one of the rarest diamonds I've ever seen. On top of that, the majority of argyle diamonds are under a quarter carat. 95% of them are under a quarter carat. This is almost a half a carat, so it's twice the size. The color is ridiculous. Again, it's a gray blue, and it's a near flawless diamond. So the diamond sells in the 170 range, 170,000 range. There's no doubt in my mind that in the next 5 to 7 years, this diamond will be very close to a seven-figure diamond. Never seen a diamond as beautiful as this, color-wise in the blue-gray combination, and the fact that it's nearly flawless makes it one of the best investment diamonds we've ever seen. We do anticipate that diamond will sell next week. So, again, some lucky buyer is going to hold a diamond that in most cases nobody has seen a diamond as beautiful as this before. But all in all, the diamond market in general is just doing tremendously. The fact is that there's many people out there that believe that the world is in financial difficulty, and these are the type of assets that you need to own in combination with other assets to get through these difficult times. And according to our business is picked up tremendously worldwide. Now, in Canada, our business has actually fallen off a bit because of the weakness of the Canadian dollar. However, we did realize that this was happening. I put a hedge on the Canadian-American dollar, and I've kept it on. I'm going to have to take it off fairly soon within the next couple of weeks, but at this particular point, any of our Canadian clients can invest in our diamonds and pay in Canadian dollars at par with U.S. dollars. So it means that we're saving you 25% on any purchase of a diamond. That means any diamond that you purchase from us at this particular point immediately puts you in profits by 25%. And the fact is that these diamonds just will continue to climb. The fact that the Argyle mine is closing down in 5 years makes this probably the best investment you could make at this particular time. We'll never get another opportunity to visit this type of situation because there's no other diamond mine in the world that does what the Argyle mine does. And the fact is that the Argyle mine has been in production since 1986. It produces 30 million carats of diamonds a year, but only 200 carats of those are investment quality diamonds. All the rest are industrial type of diamonds. You're getting the odd brown diamond that comes out of there. brownish pinks are not the most desirable color. You want to own the pinks, the intense pinks, the deep pinks, the vivid pinks, the purplish pinks, but try to shy away from anything with brown in it at this point, or even those champagne-colored diamonds are pretty, but they're basically brownish yellows, and they're not considered investment quality. You want to own the pinks, and in this particular case, the very, very odd time, a blue diamond or something extremely rare will come out of the Argyle mine, and that's the diamond that we're featuring this week. We anticipate that the price of Argyle pink diamonds will continue to skyrocket. In the past 10 years, this is what's happened. First of all, the price of Argyles have tripled in the last 10 years. I don't know of any other investment in the world today where you can double your money in 10 years, let alone triple it. On top of that, the light pinks, which are not heavily saturated, which you would think would not have gone up as much as other diamonds, have actually gone up 20% a year for the last 5 years, meaning that if you owned a fancy pink, light pink diamond 5 years ago, you've doubled your money. You can't double your money that quickly anymore. You certainly can't do it in any safe investment by putting your money in the bank. So at this particular time, I consider diamonds amongst the safest investments we could make. The fact that the Argyle mine is going to close and we're not going to have any more pink diamonds or these type of bluish grays makes these diamonds incredibly valuable and one of the best investments you could make. One thing you should consider before investing in diamonds, they're not a short-term investment. If you buy a diamond and want to sell it in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're really wasting your time. A diamond doesn't go up like that. It goes up on rarity and on supply and demand. The demand for pink diamonds is the highest it's ever been, and the supplies are low and getting lower, and soon there won't be any more pink diamonds. So that's why the price of pink diamonds have gone up as much as they have. The same scenario happened with blues. They've gone up as much as 1,000% in the past 10 years. But you want to give these diamonds a chance to really get rare, so there's nothing available in the marketplace. And that's what we've said. Hold on to your yellow diamonds for 10, 15 years. I bought yellow diamonds and put them away for the next 20, 30 years for my grandchildren. I want to give them an opportunity in 20 years from now when they, when they're ready to hit the road and start to hit the work, buy their own home or their car or whatever, that they have an asset that is not stock or paper related, an asset that is portable private wealth that goes up no matter what the economy is doing. And when the economy gets worse, these diamonds become even better investments. So, again, I very highly recommend that you own diamonds and put them away for the longer term. I've mentioned this several times, but it's so true that my wife's girlfriend inherited a 5-carat pink diamond from her grandmother. Her grandmother bought the ring 50 years ago for $50,000, and today that diamond's worth $5 million. $50,000 to $5 million over a 50-year period. Stocks have never given those type of returns. Bonds don't. Very seldom does real estate come close to that. Again, you're talking over the longer term of putting these assets away to see what the world economy is going to do. Don't look to sell them if you're in any type of difficulty, because, again, these are going to help you down the road. Probably one of the only assets at this point that will help you down the road as you need to be in harder assets. So, again, I'm just thrilled, Randy, with what's going on in the diamond market. We very heavily recommend yellow flawless diamonds. There's very, very few of them available on the market today. The fancy yellows, the fancy intense yellows, the fancy vivid yellows. The fancy vivid yellows are the highest saturation and consequently the most expensive of all yellow diamonds. And again, there's very, very few of them available. Just look in the marketplace and you'll very seldom see a flawless yellow diamond, but that's all we sell in yellow diamonds is the flawlesses, because they increase by about 15% a year. When you get into the larger yellow diamonds, you're talking about diamonds that can go up even more than that. My wife's 14-karat flawless yellow has basically tripled in the last 6 years. So, again, you're talking about assets that do way better than the mainstream investments, and you own them outright. We deliver them directly to you. They're your assets. Now, the one thing about the diamond market is that there's never been a secondary market to resell them. And coming from the commodity business, where I've been in the business 35 years, that's the first thing we did when we got into diamonds, was created a secondary market for our clients to resell them. Now, the fact is that it's a business that needs to be growing, and that's exactly what it is. We've connected with several charities, and we've been introduced to very wealthy families that are now buying our diamonds. In actual fact, we have many functions coming up over the next 3 to 4 months with major charities using diamonds to raise money for charity. It's something that we started, and our auction site has been so successful in accomplishing this. And again, we've been able to donate tremendous amounts of money to Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Charity. And on March the 19th, we're doing a massive auction for the Girl Scouts of America, including magnificent diamond jewelry and individual loose diamonds. So it's going to be sensational. We have a magnificent showroom in West Palm Beach, Florida, by appointment only, that clients come to see, over $500 million worth of our diamonds and jewelry. So again, we're very heavy into this business because that's where the smart money is going. In the newsletter this week, Richard Russell is in total agreement with us and talking very positively about the diamond market. And myself personally, where I've got most of my net worth invested in this particular business, I've never felt more comfortable or have any problems going to bed at night knowing that we're in the diamond business. Because again, it's all about, number one, capital preservation, which diamonds give you, and capital appreciation, which diamonds give you. Now, when I say diamonds, I'm not talking about most diamonds. I'm talking about very few diamonds are investment quality. In actual fact, out of every 100,000 carats of diamonds that are mined, only one is an investment quality diamond, 1 carat. And the only white diamonds that are considered investment quality are the perfect D flawlesses. On top of that, when you look at yellow flawless diamonds, they go up by about 15% a year right now because the pink diamond market is on fire because people in the know that there's not going to be any more of them. Those diamonds are going up tremendously, and we expect the next 2 to 3 years to be the biggest moves that we've ever seen in the diamond market before. So we're ecstatic about what's happening in diamonds, and we have our loose diamond business, our investment diamond business, which is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Also, my secondary market to resell our clients' diamonds and for our auctions and all that is 8 Seagull Fine Auctions. And then we have Diamante Atelier, which is my jewelry division. And again, we just did inventory, and I have over $150 million worth of diamond jewelry. It's beyond belief, the diamond jewelry that we have. And many of it has been purchased many, many years ago when the prices were much lower. And we pass these savings on to our clients. If you would like to see our catalog of magnificent jewelry pieces, we'll send it to you free of charge. And again, with Valentine's Day coming up, this is something that you definitely want to look into. We've got beautiful heart jewelry made into necklaces and rings that will absolutely blow you away. They're museum quality pieces, the best jewelers that you've ever seen. On top of that, we have our rough diamond business. Now, this is very important. We don't advertise this overly heavily because it just seems too good to be true. But the fact is that it's a business that's been in existence for 3 generations now through my partner's family. All I did was modernized it and allowed my clients to invest in it. It's a very, very profitable business because the mines are owned outright by my partner's family. That means that any diamonds pulled out of there, the only cost to those diamonds are basically the cost of labor. So basically, when we pull a rough diamond out of the market, our clients are cutters and polishers that buy these diamonds, and then they polish them and cut them and sell them to the jewelry trade, which is really what the rough diamond business is all about. And that's what we do, and we allow our clients to invest with us in this business. It's a very profitable business, so you can invest your money with us. Minimum count is $25,000, and the maximum is whatever you want to put in. The fact is, I'll use an example of $100,000. If you were to put $100,000 US into our business, our natural diamond investment business, which is a rough diamond business, we will pay you 24% a year US. That means on $100,000, you're going to get paid every month on the 5th of each month. We will deposit into your account 2% of your investment in U.S. dollars. That means if you put in $100,000, you're going to get $2,000 U.S. a month deposited right into your account. Now, that's in U.S. dollars. When you actually convert it to Canadian, you're going to pick up another 25%, means that now you're getting $2,500 Canadian a month. Our clients are ecstatic with this. Many of our clients are retired, and let's face it, you put your money in the bank, you're going to get 2% a year, not 2% a month. The other thing is that we did to make our clients feel even more comfortable is that we collateralize the diamonds by putting in the equivalent amount of our own diamonds to basically guarantee the principal of our clients. It means that if you invest $100,000, we're going to make sure that there's a $100,000 diamond wholesale in the trust in order to back up your investment. We put in a 4-carat blue flawless diamond worth $8 million that's already sitting in the fund along with other pinks. Now again, this works out extremely well for me because these are diamonds that I don't want to sell. So to put them in the trust, let them gain value, and to make our clients feel more comfortable because they have security that backs up their investment. Again, it's something that we've always allowed our clients to invest with us. In my 35-year career, when something came up that was beneficial to my clients, I would include our clients in that, and that's exactly what we're doing now. So again, if you want to inquire into this, as our Canadian clients, we will pay you 24% a year for either 2 years or 4 years, whatever program you take. If you take the 4-year program, you're basically doubling your money in 4 years. And again, we're very proud to be able to bring this to you. Nobody else in the world does this because very few people have the knowledge of the rough diamond and mining business that my partners have. They've been in the business for 3 generations. And again, our Canadian clients that are invested in this investment at this point are ecstatic, number one, with the returns, but then when they convert it from American to Canadian, they're blown away with another 25% being put into their account on their currency. So, Randy, this is what we're doing to get our clients through these extremely difficult times. We don't want our clients speculating. We don't want you leveraging gold or silver or anything like that. We want you to own everything outright. We want you to own your diamonds outright because when all the dust settles, 4 or 5 years from now, when the Argyle mine is closed and all that, I believe it's going to be our clients that are going to have gotten through these difficult times better than anybody and make the most amount of money. That's what our goal is, again, and that's what I believe is going to happen. Between owning physical diamonds, between owning physical gold that we're going to bring to you at spot price, and to be able to invest in our private investment, our clients, I believe, will do better than anybody that's in the paper asset market.
And Harold brings you the rarest of the rare, the top quality diamonds, the highest quality diamonds. As an example, featured Diamond of the Week from rarecoloreddiamonds.com is a very rare 0.41 carat round brilliant cut VVS2 Clarity Fancy Gray Blue Argyle. Speak with Harold today about investing in that diamond. And it's really one of the most amazing diamonds, color-wise, I have ever seen. As Harold said, they go together so well, the blue and the gray, and it's something that is truly unique, museum quality. Go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, click on Featured Diamond of the Week, and you will see one of the most stunning diamonds that you will ever witness on this planet. Harold touched on Richard Russell and his quote. In our newsletter this week, we have the quote from Richard Russell. Another high-class area of transportable tangibles is diamonds. You can transport $10 million worth of diamonds in the cuff of your trousers. And if it's one of those situations that you need to get out of Dodge, obviously that's a huge consideration. Also, Jean-Marc Leiberher, who is the managing director of Rio Tinto, said the overall price for Argyle pink diamonds has tripled since 2000. From another article we had, people who had the money before but did not consider diamonds are coming into the picture. And that is a quote from an article where they talked about investing in diamond jewelry. from the Wall Street Journal. We have it. We can send it out to you. The quote is from Eric Valdieu of Valdieu Fine Arts. And one of the stories that Harold has talked about over the years, and it's a great reminder why you need to have a long-term picture for the diamond market when you invest in it. In 1980, the highest auction price paid for a diamond was $127,000 a carat for a 7.27 carat pink diamond. The record was shattered in 1987 by the first high-quality red diamond to be sold at auction, and that is the 0.95 carat Hancock Red. It sold for over $926,000 a carat. $926,000 a carat. The Hancock Red was sold by the heirs of the American owner Warren Hancock, a Montana rancher and diamond collector. Mr. Hancock had purchased all his diamonds at retail prices from his local jewelry, and he had reportedly paid $13,500 for that .95 carat red diamond in 1956. It is fair to say this was one of the greatest gemstone investments of the century. And Harold, that's what we're talking about. Investing in hard assets, a diamond, gold, and silver for the long term. When you're in a currency war, as we are right now around the world, no doubt we have currency wars. What you're looking at doing is obviously being in an asset that is stable, that will not lose its value. And as you touched on, Harold, a lot of people waking up and finding out that the paper currency that they're holding is almost worthless. It's a very scary feeling.
It certainly is, because, again, we have no control over what the governments do. We have no control over the decisions that they make for us, so we have to take certain things into our own hands. And again, the government has nothing to do with the price of diamonds. They may be able to manipulate the stock market, the gold market, the currency markets, and all the other markets because they're paper, and we've seen that happen many, many times. We've seen the reports where these banks are being, fined billions of dollars for manipulating currencies and commodities and stocks and things like that. But that can't be done in diamonds. And again, it's such a small marketplace. So I'm just very pleased that we were able to bring this not only to our clients about 10 years ago, but on top of that, all that has happened within the 10 years to grow this business. And again, I think that we've really got the attention of the higher-ups in the diamond business because they all know who we are and they all follow what we do. And many that thought that, what we are trying to accomplish wouldn't actually happen, now they actually give us diamonds to sell for them. So again, I'm very pleased with what's happened in our business, but the best is by far yet to come. So again, at this point, Randy, there's no doubt that the diamond market is one of the most important markets for our clients. And again, I just think moving forward, it's going to be one of the best investments that we've made, especially in the Argyle diamonds.
And the featured diamond we have this week, if you're talking about starting a diamond portfolio or adding something that is so special that you've always wanted to add and just take your collection to the next level, this is it. This is the diamond to do it with. Take your collection to the next level, or have a bedrock diamond, a core diamond holding within your diamond portfolio collection. Featured diamond is a very, very rare 0.41 carat round brilliant cut VVS2 clarity fancy gray blue Argyle. It's from the Argyle mine, which obviously, as Harold explained, is going away very, very soon, meaning that any diamond that's come out of that mine, we believe, is going to be worth a lot of money in the future. You add to it the fact that it's a fancy gray blue Argyle, one of the rarest of the rare diamonds. You see a picture of it, it's museum quality. It is absolutely stunning. To give you an idea of some of the potential of diamonds at Christie's, and this is really something to consider, the Cartier Devant de Corsage brooch realized a staggering $17.5 million price tag at auction, a 660% increase, having first sold for $2.65 million at Christie's Geneva back in 1991. And that was a brooch that went last year, according to Raul Kanika, who is heading up the International House of Christie's Jewelry Department. But it gives you an idea. Harold, we have about 30 seconds left here. Buy diamonds, invest in diamonds, give them time. You can see what they do.
You bet, Randy. I'm very excited about what's happening in the diamond market. Also, again, we will have tremendous opportunities coming in gold. So, again, I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Get our free weekly newsletter and ask Harold about our featured diamond of the week, one of the most stunning featured diamonds we have ever had, and it's that fancy gray blue argyle. Connect with us at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. That's it, another edition of the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.